This is the self-titled podcast of the Golf in Japan website, where you can check essential information in English about golfing in Japan, including more than 2,000 courses. We can help you book your round and make the whole process a whole lot easier. So check out golf-in-japan.com and start planning your Japan golf trip today.
Titleist Club Fitting, the fastest way to better. With a player-focused philosophy on fitting, Titleist offers a range of club fitting experiences from drivers to wedges. Your Titleist fitting specialist, thanks to an unmatched selection of products and technology, along with a wealth of fitting knowledge, will provide you with tour-quality fitting experience that can provide immediate benefits for your game. You can experience a fitting in English while in Japan. Just go to the Golf in Japan website and click on the Titleist banner. Or check the link in the description of this podcast. Titleist, the fastest way to better.
Okay, Golf in Japan. Welcome to another January edition. Only a trio today. Hello, Pro Joe in Damon C.
Hello, Kieran.
How are
nice
you, mate?
to be here.
I like your Bright
Very
Preserver.
Well. And I like yours. We've got matching ones, black. Yours is triple the price, I think.
Just because I'm wearing it.
Ryan, it goes up in value with you wearing it.
That's right.
Ryan, how you going?
Doing good.
Good to see you. Couple of things that we need to get. So Damon's not here, so obviously you know the rules that do apply.
Yeah,
So if you've any
the gloves are off.
gloves are off. If you've any stick for the big man,
Would love to, but all we're getting is 5-star reviews, and they all give a shout out to Damon. So thanks to Nathan for one recently as well. I think he hooked up them with a company visiting from New Zealand, I believe, and they had like a bit of a tour going around, and I think we helped them out with some fittings as well. So, but
That's
yeah,
good.
only love for Damon. So what can we do about that?
I think he's in Bali at the moment, isn't he? With all the other Australian bogans. Is that right? Is that where he is? I believe so.
Bali.
Bali is where all the Australians go. They go on holidays there.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, everybody's coming to
I
Japan.
thought it was.
but
I
Japan
thought
too, yeah.
I thought it was an
Japan is number
abbreviation of something like Brizzy. Yeah, Bali.
to Bali.
It's actually Bali. Okay.
Yeah.
No, he's in New Zealand.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's gone over to see his grandson.
I think we'll go with the Bali story.
So shout out to little baby Noah, and I hope all mom and baby and everybody's doing well over there. I think they are. But he's coming back tomorrow,
That's right.
so it's only a short trip. Okay, we just I won't get into the TGL just quite yet because I think we need to do that. But we do had some interesting things just pop up on my radar. So one was John Daly underwent extensive hand surgery for an unknown injury.
I saw a picture on,
See
I think
that?
it was Zyagolf on Instagram that had a picture of him in the hospital.
Pretty banged up.
I didn't. He looked banged up, but I didn't know what it was for. So that's the reason is he had wrist surgery.
Yeah, I'd seen a video of him hitting balls over a motorway on New Year's Eve.
I saw that as well.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
mean,
say
what's he
it's-
do? Where is he to? I mean, that was.
He was saying to his
pretty-
mates, just like it was like teenagers, keep sketch. Watch out in case any cars come, and he was just bombing a ball over like two different motorways
was
in
too.
America.
Yeah.
I was like,
It was
okay.
like a dive bar where he was at too. It didn't look like a
imagine.
particularly upmarket place.
And he had a dart in his mouth the whole thing.
I was going to say, it seems like it's an injury from repetitive stress where you keep doing the same thing,
Hitting balls off
hitting
beer
balls off
cans.
concrete.
Yeah.
Hitting balls off beer cans will do it, I tell you.
There was a story back in the day that he was at a driving range at some tournament, hitting balls down the driving range, and he turned around with his driver, teed it up, and actually hit the ball up over the crowd, the people in the stands, and I think he got a little bit of trouble for it as well. It's actually a true story.
Did he
was
ever
that confident?
Did he do that one in St Andrews? From outside the pub, where you hit it like over a kind of a square block onto
Oh, that's
the
right.
16th
Yeah,
green.
from the pub over. No, I don't think he's done that yet, but
That's a bit made for him, isn't it?
it
Really?
is too.
In his bare feet, we're ripping a dart.
That's right.
Another one was Grant Horvat, Associated brand Primo sponsors the High Flyers in Live.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, so
Isn't he going
there's
places?
a brand called Primo, and they're kind of like they're like Malbon a little bit, like jogger pants and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, so did you watch the YouTube video of Grant Horvat and Phil Mickelson playing, trying to break 50 or something?
I've watched one of them.
Yeah.
I think he's done a preview the earlier one. I haven't watched the latest one.
So there's one where they play a match, and then he says, "Well, if you lose." So first one was if Mickelson gave him 6 shots, and if Horvat won, he promised he was going to buy a year's subscription of Mickelson's coffee brand to some a viewer. And then if Mickelson lost, he had to wear the Primo sweatpants to the Open. which he did.
Did he?
Yep. He lost to Grant Harvard and he wore them for the Open. So he must have, liked them. And then he said, I didn't think I could pull them off. And I was a bit worried about it. But then it turns out I love them. So then Primo, who I think Grant Horvat was sponsored by or he was an ambassador for, and then he invested in them.
That's right. Is that how it worked? Yeah.
Because he's full of money now.
Yeah, he is too.
And so so he's now they're the official sponsor of some Flyers? Forgot what's Mickelson's team called?
I don't know.
If only Damien was here.
No, but that's good. I like Grant Horvath.
High Flyers.
I think he's good.
That's Mickelson's team. The High Flyers. So there you go.
Wow.
Okay. We were just saying. Remember, we were saying we're going to do a prefecture of the week, but we actually missed a few prefectures because I think we might have missed 2 weeks. And then it messed up our schedule that we had on Excel, and then also we did a couple of test runs of the podcast when we were first getting going. So
right.
I think we should go back and do a prefecture. Do you have any requests, Ryan? You're the prefecture guy.
I was going to say
Damon's absence.
Well, Damon, yeah.
Kochi.
Oh, Kochi.
Yeah.
Kochi is good. Actually, we have a lot of information on Kochi because they were one of the ones that actually they welcome foreigners, and they do the Casio Open. They you have a golf course down there, do you?
No, we don't have one down there. I think when I was talking about it was Yuma Ono, the young professional that I teach. He got a start in the Casio Open, which we haven't talked about. He didn't make the cut, but he played quite well. But that's the only link I have to Kochi.
Okay. Well, so if you go to the Japan Today website, of course, it's only on 10 courses, but it's beautiful. And it's Shikoku, is it?
Yes. Shikoku Island, yeah.
So there's only 4 prefectures on that particular island. Can you name the 4 prefectures?
Ehime.
Oh yeah, Ehime is one. Takayama.
Tokushima. Kagawa. I'm on Google Maps.
Oh, good. Yeah. The cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Kagawa, yeah, I'm hopeless at this sort of thing.
Me too. But I actually did 2 fam trips down there. So I spent a week kind of glamping, camping, playing golf, and then another one I stayed in a hotel in Tulsa, and I wrote about it in the Golf in Japan. So if you go to the Kochi section, you'll find that there. But just to give you a bit of an overview. So Kochi has a 300-year-old market sprawling 1.3 kilometers in the front of Kochi Castle. That's the kind of biggest thing to do down there. And then they have they've got canals. It's very kind of there's not many people living there. I don't think it's very very populated, so it's very natural.
Okay.
You got waterfalls, beautiful rivers. If you look on the guide, you'll see some nice pictures. The golf courses, I think Kochi Kuroshio Country Club is number 1. Tosa, which I've played, and I loved it. It's got 3 different courses, and one is like palm trees right next to the turquoise ocean. It's beautiful. And then Sky Bay Golf Club is the one that has the glamping. To be honest with you, that's not the best golf course. It's very up and down, but it's a lot of fun. So remember you were talking about like when you were in Okinawa, it was a little bit of a patchy golf course, and you were smashing it around. And I think Sky Bay is like that. So Sky Bay, super cheap to play, like 3,000 or 4,000 yen. It's an 18-hole golf course, but some of them are super downhill or super uphill, that kind of a thing. Carts, everything are good. But it has glamping, and they can lay on a chef to come over and barbecue for you and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting place, very eclectic.
I think prices are going up there too. Like, because I was looking at it like last week, just out of my own curiosity, and I mean, it was similar pricing to Tokyo, which I was not expecting, because I would think that like a place more remote like that would be cheaper. But I mean, maybe it's still like well within range and all that, but it seems like Kochi is positioned to be like kind of a future destination. I think once people discover it more, because it's it's very beautiful, like you said, lots of beautiful rivers and mountains and beaches, and that island Shikoku is not so big that, I mean, you could just explore that place and really get lost in there.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's an hour from Tokyo. You get there, the rental car is literally as you walk out the door. So you don't even need a car to bring you over to the rental car place. It's a very tiny airport. You rent a car, it's super cheap, and you just drive around the island essentially. And it feels like you're on a little Guam or something. It's beautiful, and it's full of like yuzu trees. That's their big products. So they do yuzu shochu, yuzu gin.
A lot of citrus.
Yes, you see them all like so it's very mountainous prefecture. So usually golf courses, everything is beside the sea or overlooking in the hills. But then after that, it's like pure jungle. So all on these slopes, you'll see all of the fruit trees, which is really nice. I should mention one golf course, which I thought was the best golf course, which is called Green Field. Golf Club.
Okay.
Do you know that one, Joe?
Never heard of it. No, I don't know a lot about it. What goes on down there?
I've played that one twice now. And do you know Tobari-san? Do you ever hear of Tobari-san? He used to be, he was the guy who, if you watch the Masters, it's always on Channel 6, which is TBS.
Yeah, okay.
Tobari-san was the guy who's always commentating on it in Japanese.
I do know who you mean.
And he's kind of like, I think he's a member of Augusta or something.
Right.
He has something to do with RNA as well. Like he's a very well respected, well thought after guy, and he designed this golf course, and it's a wicked golf course. I highly recommend it. It's super, really, really nice to play. Food's fantastic. It's been chiseled out of valleys, gorges, mountainsides, which is super interesting. Amazing greens and fairways, very tricky, lots of elevated greens and stuff like that. So the green field would be my favorite golf course down there.
I've never played golf outside of Japan yet, so like I don't have any perspective on that. But to me, like if you were to say I want a Japanese experience with golf, you think Mount Fuji, of course, but then also like just the natural topography of Japan is really hilly. Like it's a very hilly country, like sort of semi-mountainous. Of course, there's mountains as well, but so that's like that sort of up and down is something that we've talked about before. And like, are there other countries that would be similar to that? I mean, I imagine some places are going to be really flat and sandy, or different types of forests, different types of trees that you're going to see. But would Korea be really similar to Japan if you could play a course there?
Korea is similar to Japan.
Yeah, I agree.
It depends where you are, really, to be honest with you. In Ireland, like if you're playing links golf anywhere, it's generally flat. Like you have sand dunes and stuff, but you're not getting these massive views or anything like that. You might get the ocean and stuff, and that's really nice. But in Japan, you're right. It's 80% mountains, right? So a Japan experience is a bit of up and down, and you get to see beautiful mountains and hopefully Mount Fuji and that kind of thing. But the funny thing is, for Japanese, the really flat golf courses are the most expensive ones. Which are kind of boring to me. You can't see anything. You can't see the greens. You can't. Maybe it's a dog leg. You're just seeing trees. If you go to Saitama, some of the very snooty, get some snooty golf courses that are super.
Very
like
exclusive.
Sayama. Have you ever played there? Sayama is one of those.
No, I think. What's Tokyo Golf Club like? I think that's relatively flat, isn't it? Kasumi Gaseki. I mean, they almost share a boundary fence, don't they?
Yeah. I've played Kasumi. I haven't played Tokyo Golf Club. Played Kasumi Gaseki. That's one of my favorite golf courses in Japan, though. It's a very picturesque. It's like a garden. Yeah. It's a really well maintained Japanese garden.
But and Ryan, sort of talking about what you were just sort of speaking about, they are. I mean, what sort of typifies golf courses here is the Japanese garden experience. I mean, the conditioning of the whole golf course, from greens to tees to fairways, even under the trees, is so immaculately groomed. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. If you go to Australia, anything really off the fairways, especially down the famous Sandbelt golf courses, is lots of brush, and it looks unkept. To the untrained eye, it does look unkept. But and of course, what you get here as well is you get the 2 putting greens. You get a lot of trees in the middle of fairways. So I think once you go and play, maybe if you go back to the States and you play, you'll definitely notice a difference between golf courses here and the US.
And the grass.
The grass, yeah.
There's no poana.
No. Lots of korai and he's a bit bent.
Japan is funny with grass because they don't tend to treasure it as much. Like, if being an American, I can't speak for other places, but it's like you protect your lawn, you really take care of your lawn. Mm-hmm. Everyone has their front yard, backyard, more or less, if you're in a suburb, and really respect and care for the grass. But in Japan, I feel like there's less like kind of notice about that, and the grass is often yellow, and things like this. So I imagine the grass found the golf course, like a lot, especially right now, a lot of them are quite yellow. So I don't know if that's a feature as well, but
yeah, I mean they do spray the fairways and stuff. A lot of the golf courses will do that, so it'll be kind of green.
I like the contrast. Kieran, don't you like the contrast between the sprayed green and the sprayed grass, and then the rough, which they don't spray, which is dormant?
Yeah, I do, and I like it. It's practical as well, so you can actually see your ball.
Correct,
if you're hitting on the fairway.
Right, that's one problem. If you leave it dormant, it's really hard to find white golf balls.
You just, especially like if you hit it quite a decent distance, it's gone.
Yeah.
That's when people start rocking the pink and the greens. And it's more practical. It's easier to see those. You wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
That's right.
Yeah. So there you go, Kochi. And I believe Kochi is one of the cheaper places to travel. When I was there, right, you could get a bottle of water for 80 yen.
I think I mentioned it before.
Yeah. And I was like, regular convenience store.
What's kind of double that, isn't it, in a convenience, or a little bit more?
150, 160.
Yeah.
So you're talking about almost half price. And it was like we went, because we were doing the barbecue, we went to the kind of liquor shop and got a few cans, and then we went over and we went to the butcher's and we got some meat, and we just had a grand old time. It was probably just a few thousand yen. So it's one of those places, if you want to get out of the beaten track, okay, of course, Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto have to be done. They're beautiful. But if you want to go somewhere a little bit different, less populated, and a great spot, we recommend Kochi. So
yeah,
let's that was the prefecture of the week, unintentionally, just Kochi.
Impromptu.
Yeah. And I should mention, so the seafood, that's what you eat down there. Okay, they've got all the yuzu stuff, but they have bonito, which is the katsuo.
It's like Japanese. Dried fish flakes, which is much better. It tastes much better than it sounds.
They eat it all sorts of ways. I remember I was in the golf show. I was in Tosa Country Club, and I ordered the katsuo don, which is just on top of rice. It was super cheap, like 500 yen. Basically came with like this massive plate of fish, and they got the blowtorch out and just did it from, like, seared it right in front of me, and then just popped it on top of the rice. Put big dollop of wasabi on, and a bit of soy, and it was very, very good. So if you're going to go there, that's what you eat, katsuo, and then maybe a gin, a yuzu flavored gin.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. We should probably skip straight over to talk trash about TGL. I have to say, a very big letdown. I'm a big Tiger guy, and Tiger, the walkout, everything was good. His first shot was amazing. He ripped the 3-wood.
He did.
All right, here we go. Big cat. And then it was just it was the same thing again. It was a drubbing by the other team. Nobody seems like they're actually, care about winning. They're not show guys. So it's really hard for them to, like, hold everyone's attention because you know what I mean? Like, if you're watching a golf tournament, you hit a shot and then it shows you where it lands, and then they'll skip to the next person on another hole. And that's the coverage. And you get used to watching that. But watching them come back and interact with each other, and they're not like personalities or anything. They're golf pros, So it's a little bit contrived. I thought they were, trying to make a team, but they didn't really feel like a team. Yeah. Don't think they're motivated. And then it was another absolute hammering. And I heard the one that's recording, while we're recording this, one's just finished, and Ryan was telling me that someone else was being hammered. Who won this week, Ryan?
That's right. So the one that finished yesterday by time of recording would be the January 20th one. And let's see here. So that was the Atlanta Drive Golf Club players, Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, against the New York Golf Club players with Ricky Fowler. And I don't have the rest of the teammates listed there, but just a total shutout again. So speaking more generally about the TGL, now that's 3 times that they've played, and each time it's one team is completely dominant over the other, which doesn't make for great viewing. And like you said, like, the players just seem kind of like flippant about it too. Like, I'm getting rinsed at the TGL, no big deal. You don't want to see that from them, right?
Yeah, you're not going to see them go to the range for like 5 hours and practice, be the last guy there till dark, because, And the other thing was that the technology, and we'd mentioned it, Joe.
Yeah.
It seemed like everyone hitting it in the water. That was funny actually, watching Charlie laugh at Tiger when he hit it in the water.
That's right. There was one especially, and Tiger's never done this in his career. There was one shot, he hit a wedge, and he hit it sort of 30 yards over the green. He might have hit 9 or a wedge, I can't quite remember. And Tiger has never done that in his career. So I think the technology needs a lot of work, whether it was not aligned properly. But there were certainly some shots that the guys were hitting where they were just sort of looking at each other and thinking, actually, I didn't hit that left, because they know.
How bad was Kisner? He didn't kill someone. Just him skull went out of the bunker.
His skull went out of the bunker, and they were kind of yucking it up, him and Tiger. And it was a bit of a combination of the technology not working all that well and the players not being in great form. I mean, you've got Kisner and Tiger, as I said in the last episode, that they're both effectively retired. They're still bit players, but terribly out of form.
Why was he blading out of a bunker? You don't expect a pro to do that. When's the last time you bladed one, Joe, out of the bunker?
Yeah, look, it's been a little while. I think they were talking about the sand. Apparently, it comes from Augusta, so they're talking that up a lot. But the design of the bunker is quite strange. I mean, bunkers are usually set down. I mean, they're a lot set further down than what the level of the green is, and these bunkers are kind of at green level.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a sort of a strange situation standing at that bunker when you're at the same level as the putting green. in saying that, though, he's a world-class player or was a world-class player. He should be able to get it onto the putting green somewhere. The other thing I really struggle with as well, I said last week I kind of like the green. I watched Tiger hit some putts as well that he was really confused, and Tiger is never confused. He's the best reader of putts maybe ever, and he hit some putts that were going the other way from where he thought the ball was going to go. So I really think it's got some improvement. They need to make some improvements.
But it's changing after every shot, right? Or after every hole, they're adjusting it.
Yeah. So it must be the surface of the grasses.
Or he's because you know the way you would say, "Okay, I've been on the screen before," like mentally without even thinking about it, subliminally or whatever it's called, subconsciously, I should say. And then you're thinking, "Oh yeah, I just hit a putt on the last hole and it went that way." Yeah. But it's like they've changed the whole green.
Yeah, that's true. But when he's expecting the ball to go right to left and it goes left to right, he's never done that in his career. So something about that. Maybe they can fix it. I don't know. But I also think it's quite a strange team. Tiger, Kisner, Max Homa, and Tom Kim. I mean, Tom Kim's only in his early 20s. I don't see how that works.
All great players, though.
They're all terrific players.
Dynamic, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're all at different stages of their career. Tiger's nearly 50. Kisner would probably be in his late 30s. I don't know. Max is maybe late 20s, early 30s, and Tom Kim's really young. So very different generations. Probably haven't got a whole lot in common. Well, look, maybe they do, but for me, it was a little bit strange. I would be really interested to see what the viewership is going to be like with this one that's being currently played. It increased, of course, when Tiger was playing from the first week, of course, as you expect it would, but I would imagine that it will become less and less, especially if there's drubbings.
It was pretty disappointing for me, I'd have to say. I really wanted it to be better. I preferred the first one. I was like, okay, it was the first one. You give it a, but that one was. I just couldn't concentrate on it. I just kept saying they don't care.
No, they don't. No, of course.
So that was just the underlying thing, and you much prefer like an actual real life golf tournament. And my next question for you, Joe, is it affecting? Because obviously there's a schedule. You fly out of a tournament hopefully on the Monday, and then you're playing this on the Tuesday night, and then you have to go maybe on a plane straight away to your next place on a Wednesday and start doing your practice rounds, your pro-ams and so on. And I noticed, and I don't know if it's related or if it's injury or whatever, it's a couple of players withdrew from Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines.
I read that there's a lot actually. I think
Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa.
As of this morning, I think there was about 10 named players who have withdrawn from that event for... Yeah. What are the reasons? What are the reasons they're giving?
So someone was saying there's a American football NFL championships, some conference. Maybe I think there's 2 conferences on Sunday. So they wanted to get it finished on Saturday. So the tournament actually starts Wednesday. So it might have been a bit of a tight schedule, and people are saying, I can't do TGL on this, and I'll just give it a miss this week, maybe.
Well, that would create a problem if the TGL is starting to create problems with the players' schedules, and they're deciding to pull out a tournament. So
it could be just this week because it could be NFL is affecting it, right? So it starts on the Wednesday.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this before. So
you'll have
watch this space.
You'll have a strong comparison for the traffic because the next TGL event is also Jupiter Links with Tiger Woods, Max Homa, Tom Kim, and against Boston. So it'll be Tiger versus Rory.
Oh, okay. Well, so then the viewership will definitely go up for that one.
Yeah. We'll give it one last try, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Look, no doubt. I mean, I'm still invested. I'd like.
I'll watch the highlights of the one today, and then I'll watch Tiger again. I'll give him one last chance. God damn you, Tiger!
Did you see Serena Williams was there, and they actually got her in the one of the commentators was talking to her. She actually knows nothing about golf. It was really, it was a little bit strange, and she actually said, I really don't know anything about golf, but to have her...
Is that the target audience, though? I mean, that's what people say about TGL, is that it's not taking anything away, it's trying to expand it.
Yeah.
So we're trying
it's
to
all about the TikTok audience, that's what they're saying. But I'm not sure if that's
Tennis
what
crowd
TikTok
would be a good target as well.
Yeah.
It's a country club kind of vibe, isn't it?
Yeah. I still don't quite know what to make of it, but I'm still going to watch it. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some real golf, Joe. What have you got for me?
So the American Express was at PGA West on the PGA Tour stadium course, and it was won by Austrian Sepp Strucker. Sepp is
Ryder
actually
Cupper.
Ryder
Cup year.
Yeah, good player. I think his Ryder Cup record, he had 1 win and 2 losses, but he's an emerging player. He's won 3 times on tour, and I would say he's probably becoming a top tier player. He's sneaky good. He's kind of like a old country boy, that type of look. Obviously, he's from Austria, but he's 190 centimeters tall, and he'd be well over 100 kilos, like those kids that grow up on farm, like farm boy strong.
He looks like he's swinging it slow, but he's not.
He does.
He bombs the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a big old boy.
He's a strong lad.
Yeah, and he's had some really good finishes in majors in the last couple of years as well, which a lot of people wouldn't have realised because he's not a name that a lot of people follow. But he had a really nice interview afterwards that I listened to. I mean, he shot some amazing scores. He shot 65, 64, 64, 70. So obviously didn't play as well in the last round, but he was 4 shots ahead going into the last round.
I've seen the highlights. He was kind of, the wheels were popping off a little bit.
They were a little bit, although he went 70 holes without a bogey.
That's amazing.
Which is just unbelievable. He did say in the interview that the putter saved him a few times. He said, I probably should have had a few bogeys throughout the week, but my putter saved me. But to be able to do that, and the wheels popped off a little bit towards the end, but he was 4 in front. He ended up winning by 2 from Justin Thomas. So it's nice for Justin Thomas to have a good finish. He's had some great finishes recently.
Yeah,
he's had some third finishes.
Trending.
And he is trending. So they were talking about this event that's really a putting contest for the week because it's perfect conditions. Pete Dye golf course,
right?
So no wind, great weather. They say they're the best greens that they play on throughout the year. So perfect for scoring.
What was the golf course?
It's a Pete Dye golf course called PGA West.
PGA West. Okay.
Yeah. So as I said, he was 4 shots going to the last round, one by 2. Justin Thomas finished 2 behind Justin Lauer, who's been playing really well as well. And it was nice to see Australian Jason Day finish at 22 under as well.
He's trending too, isn't he?
Yes, he's been playing really well. Yeah, he struggled for a few years there because his back was bad, and then he's working with Chris Como, I believe, who is Xander Schauffele's coach. I might be wrong saying that, and he's changed his golf swing to take a lot of pressure off his lower back, and now that he's healthy again, he's playing really, really good golf. All decked out in his Melbourne gear.
He's not as wild as before, like with his swings off the tee, especially.
Correct. He's long. He's long. He used to swing at everything at 110%, and he used to practice like that apparently too. Like everything was full bore, and not surprising that he ended up hurting himself, unfortunately, because he was a really dominant player in the, probably 10 or 12 years ago. I think he became number 1 in the world, and I really like him. I still don't think he quite matches the Melbourne gear that he's wearing. He's probably an elder statesman of the PGA Tour, although still not old.
It gives him a youthful vibe, I think.
It does.
It's good.
Yeah, but
might make it okay for others to wear it more.
Yeah, no doubt. It's to my eye, it just looks a little bit. I don't think it's bad, but it's just a little bit different. It's probably not the style that I would wear, but I love Melbourne. I love what they're doing, and there's lots of collaborations between them and some other terrific brands. So they're making waves, which is never a bad thing.
Did you see at that American Express tournament there was a new guy, William Moe or something like that? He had I just caught it on YouTube, but he had an October bogey,
a 13.
And it
is that what
no,
it is?
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was brutal. Like
Who had
I
that?
could commiserate, but it was like
Ryan, did they show it?
Yeah, I watched
they
it.
did.
Yeah.
So I heard someone talking about it the other day. He had 13, and they were talking about actually one of the problems with this event is it was taking them almost 6 hours to play. I think the last round was played in just under 6 hours. And they made mention of this young man who's had 13 on one of the holes. It was one of the reasons why there was slow play. But
it was tragic. It would like roll, and they're just like, you could hear the announcers like, stop, sit, and it's just goes down back to, and it was a huge bunker. Like it was like a wave. Like that he was up, and he'd hit it over that fire. Hit it into it, hit it over it. And then
I know the
bunker.
bunker.
Yeah, Kieran, you and I know the one he's talking about.
I
don't
do,
we? Yeah.
Oh man, God love him.
So I'll have to check that out. Guys,
He kept his composure though. So
I don't really
kudos,
want to check it out,
kudos.
but the sick part of me definitely wants to check it out.
The train wreck.
I don't want to see that.
I'll just make a quick mention of the Japanese players who played in it. Hishino did really well. He finished midfield, all tied 19th at 12 under, which is good to see. And Hisatsune Kanaya, who I was talking about a couple of weeks ago and have got big raps on, and Onishi all missed the cut. Unfortunately. So there was only 4 Japanese players who played in the event this week. And the DP World Tour had the Dubai Desert Classic.
That's right.
At, the Majlis course at the Emirates, which is
won by Live Golf.
Yeah, Tyrrell Hatton. I really like Tyrrell. I think he's great.
See him breaking the tee box.
Yeah, I did. Actually, sorry, I didn't see that. I heard about it, but he broke the tee box. He's got the worst temper on tour, but he's fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
How did he break the tee box with like a stomp?
Just hit him for a shot, and he just hit his club with it. Just broke the tee box like a little square.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He must be one of the most fine players on tour for all his antics, but
Yeah, everyone's used to it. He's kind of lovable as well. He's relatable.
He is.
You know,
Yeah, that's the right word. He's relatable. So he won it at 15 under. New Zealander Dan Hillier came second at 14 under. It was quite interesting to watch. What they were talking about throughout the telecast on the last day is how much trouble he has with his chipping. And I watched a couple of shots, and he's definitely got the yips with his chipping.
Oh,
He's
no.
a terrific golfer. I guess the thing about the Majorless course at the Emirates is around the green there's a lot of long grass. So if anyone that's got the yips, it's actually probably better when you're coming out of the grass because the expectation of hitting a good shot is not so high. But he did really well. He got up and down on the last for birdie to finish at 14 under, and then Tyrrell had to hold a sort of a 10, 12 footer for for par to actually win the tournament, which was great to see. Rory played well. He sort of backdoored a top five, finished at 12 under. He had 6 under in the last round. And Tom McKibben.
That was a great round, actually.
Yeah. Kieran, do you know much about Tom McKibben, the young...
I don't know much about him at all. I know he's from... is he from the same...
Ireland?
Is he from Hollywood? The same place
I believe he... from Northern Ireland. I'm not sure where in Northern Ireland he's from. But young man who's got his PGA Tour card from finishing, I think it was top 10 in the order of merit on the DP World Tour last year, and apparently he's off to live. And Rory's been discussing with him that is probably not his best option. They interviewed Rory about the situation. Rory was very cagey about actually what he said, because you can't be outwardly saying that live is bad and all that sort of thing, but effectively that's sort of what he said. And it would be really interesting to see if this young man actually goes to live, because I think he's a little bit torn at the moment. But he's a super player. He finished at tied 6th. I mean, what a talent. I mean, he's a skinny little thing, and
he's only 22.
Yeah,
like
very young, and already had great success. He's won a couple of times, so
I think. Well, yeah, he's. I'm just looking at he's grew up playing golf at Green Island Golf Club, Green Acres Golf Club, and Hollywood Golf Club. Right, so he's from the same neck of the woods as Rory.
Yeah, from where Rory is. So, to be honest,
hopefully if you're Rory McIlroy and you're full of money, how many billion is Rory worth?
That's true.
And then this guy's coming out. He's won once or something on the European Tour, or twice or whatever, and he probably is looking. They're probably saying, "Come on over here, and we'll give you 10 million for a 3-year contract, something like that."
So apparently, what it is Liv is actually not going to pay him, but Callaway are. So Callaway apparently are going to have a team on Liv, all Callaway players, and they will foot the bill. And McKibben is one of those guys, so not paid by Liv, but will be paid by Callaway, which will be a great big fat check before he actually tees it up on the first Liv event.
Yeah.
So
the Saudis, the PIF, or not the PIF, the Saudis aren't just bankrolling with all their cash like they were. Like they bought Ram for God knows how much.
Look, they are losing so much money. I mean, McKibben is really the only big signing. There's another young player from New Zealand. I think it was Ben Campbell who's been signed. That good player, but nobody would know who he is. So they're not signing any big players, but they're losing not billions and billions, but millions and millions of dollars each year. So look, I don't know what's going to happen there. Same thing. I know we keep saying it, but watch this space. So.
Yeah. Well, the PGA Tour, it's incredible how, when you take all these really good players, so Dustin Johnson, John Rahm, they obviously are top 10 players in the world, they go, but how it fills up
it fills up pretty
legitimately.
Yeah.
And even it's good to see the Justin Thomases, who else is shot?
Look, Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth. Well, Jordan Spieth's out, right? But what's the other guy? Keegan Bradley. He's been playing bad. He was playing well in Hawaii, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was kind of in contention on the last day, I think. He fell off a bit.
He's been playing really well, actually, apparently. So he's the Ryder Cup captain for... So, when is the Ryder Cup? Is it this year or next year?
It's September, right? It's
September.
in New York.
So he's a chance to play.
He can't play a Ryder Cup and captain. Has anyone ever done that?
No,
I know Tiger did.
Might have done
Tiger did at the Presidents, right?
Yeah, they might have done it back in the day when some of the
Seve or something.
Yeah,
Sandy Lyle.
But I think it was Webb Simpson was said recently. I think actually in just the last couple of days that he expects him to
play it.
No, actually he won't. He's going to give up his captaincy. He said he should resign his captaincy and be a player. That? Yeah, apparently he can.
Who's
because I think it's too big a job to be able to be the captain and also play at the same time. So he's got to resign as captain.
Wow,
so they're calling for it, and I think Webber's actually one of his friends. So
yeah, I don't think because I think when I remember looking at an interview and when he said this is the biggest honor I've ever had.
Yeah,
So I don't think he's going to quit. Is he
I don't know. But would you rather play in it or captain it?
playing it?
I think so. So if he's eligible through his playing, I think maybe. Look,
Especially if you're coming towards the end of your best playing years,
this
right?
is probably going to be one of his last chances to play.
So he
'cause
played.
he's-
Didn't he get the winning point at the President's Cup?
I don't know, but
He did.
possibly. Yeah, he's been a good player for a long time. Really good player. He's a major winner. Won the PGA many years ago, so early on in his career. But he's been,
Zozo?
Yeah. Look, what really hurt him was when they changed the rule with the putter, because he was always a guy that would anchor his putter, and he was really unhappy about it. But he's come back and he's putted really well with the putter that he's putting with. So we shall see.
I'd love, just as a European, I would love if he became a player. It could cause some controversy. Everyone criticise him. We love that. And the American cap love it because we're nice and solid now with Luke Donald, captain
He's
again.
very good.
And then you've got Seb winning.
Yeah.
Rory playing well again. Lots of good.
Oh, John Rahm and apparently
John Rahm, Lowry.
I think it was
Cyril Hatton.
So the word is that Sergio Garcia has paid the European Tour, DP World Tour, $1 million. I don't know if it was $1 million or £1 million to be able to be eligible to be able to come back and play in the Ryder Cup.
What?
Yeah. Actually, that's true. Yeah, he does love it. So whether or not he comes back as a player, or I think it's actually in the bylaws of the DP World Tour that you had to pay an X amount, or you couldn't, unless you paid X amount of dollars, you couldn't come back as a player or a captain. So
that must have been the European. So it's the European Tour's fines for when he joined Live.
That's right. That's what it was. Yeah, the fines. Sorry,
I don't think you'd have to pay to play in Ryder Cup.
No, not pay to play, but to pay the fines, which totaled $1 million. I think it was €1 million. So
would you, if you were a rich man, Joe, would you pay to play in the President's Cup?
No. Yeah, look, no. I mean, the Ryder Cup, the President's Cup doesn't have the cachet that certainly the Ryder Cup does.
Yeah.
Would you pay to play in the Ryder Cup?
I would.
Oh, so you come from that world because you're a European. I still don't. I mean, I love the Ryder Cup, but being an Australian, I sort of don't quite understand the patriotism that the Europeans and the Americans have because it doesn't resonate with the President's Cup for me.
I mean, the difference between America's obviously on paper the better team. They always are, right? They've got they've got a better tour. They've got more players to think of, but for some reason they don't really. So we grow up playing match play. We're more team orientated, like soccer and is much bigger. Although they do have team games in America, but even the way they do it, like so it's 10 players, right, who get picked for the Ryder Cup. And Americans have 6 players who get picked. Is that the way it works? 6 players?
I think it's 6 and 6.
And then is it 12, is it?
Yeah, it's 12.
Oh, yeah, right. So the 6 who automatically qualify, and then the 6
picks.
So just looking at the Google. Xander Shaw, here's the top 6 players. Xander, Scotty, Bryson, Colin, Brian, Herman, and Patrick Cantlay. And then just outside of the cut line is Wyndham, Billy Horschel, Russell Henley, and Tony Finau.
Okay, so they would generally get picked, those next 6, but there's always some controversy when the captain decides to pick somebody that's 14th or 15th because they like them, or I think in the Ryder Cup there was something like that that went on.
So on the European side, might as well do it.
Yeah, do
Tyrrell, Rory, Rasmus, Matt Wallace, Nicholas. Oh, Matt Wallace, yeah, that's right. He won. Okay, Nicholas Hogard. Oh, so you got the 2 brothers.
The twins are playing.
Rasmus and Nicholas. They're automatic qualifiers.
Yeah, the Hogard twins. Wow.
Paul Waring.
Yeah,
from the UK. Okay. And then just outside is Julian Guerrera, Torbjorn Ollensen, Jorge Campillo, Dan Bradbury.
Wow, geez, that falls away very quickly.
No Ram.
Yeah.
I said no ramen.
Yeah.
No Rambo.
But after those top 6, I mean, the next wave of players, those next 6, like Paul Waring, I mean, there's some journeymen amongst that.
But it makes it much easier for him. So like someone like Oberg, who plays all his golf now on the PGA Tour, he's not getting any points here.
Yeah, but so he would definitely be a captain's pick.
So he'd be a captain's pick. Yeah. Rambo has to be a captain's pick.
Has to be.
He's going to get Justin Rose because that's his mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else would you get? Sergio? If he's qualified now.
Yeah.
I get Sergio, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
still a great player.
Yeah. Lowry.
Yeah, true.
He's a 2-time Ryder Cupper.
Yeah.
Who would be? And what's your man's name with the English fella with the long hair?
Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood. Have to
Yeah,
be him.
yeah, true. Yeah.
There it is. That's
Actually,
the
so
six.
sorry, I take that back. I mean, for the second 6 players that you talked about are good players, but not of the ilk that should be, to me,
So this is the
playing in the Ryder
European
Cup.
top 6 players, right? So it's you got Waring, Højgaard brothers, Wallace, McIlroy, and Hatton. So okay, they're pretty okay 6, but then the wildcard 6 is just a no-brainer.
The wildcard 6 are they're easy picks. Plus,
I would
Rory,
argue
that's a good team then.
That's a really good team.
Yeah, it is a good team. Very competitive, I think.
Yeah, but of course, the 13th man on the team would be Bethpage Black and all the New York supporters. I'm sure.
Correct. Yeah.
Give it loads.
Yeah.
But I'm organising a viewing party up at the golf course for this Ryder Cup. So I'm going to do a tournament and get my European brethren. We have a European team here. I need to get the rest of the world boys or the Americans to come up, and we'll play matches, and then we'll watch the Ryder Cup it's actually in the wee hours, so it's more like watch the Ryder Cup, have a few beers, and then tee off at 7 a.m.
So would I be allowed, seeing I come from European blood? I'm an Australian, but from English and Irish heritage.
You can't call your second name. How do you call your second name now? We say Gauquin.
Gorwin.
And you say Gorwin.
Gorwin, yeah.
Gauquin.
I think you should be an honorary American, Joe. I think.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ryan. I would love to be an American as well, especially after Trump's speech that I listened to this morning.
Trump, man.
Wow. Make America great again.
Yeah, a golden era, hopefully. Yeah. I mean,
Jeepers.
It's time to be hopeful.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck to stay in Ireland or in America, I reckon. Okay, well, we won't get political because that's not what we do.
That's right. Sorry, can I just quickly mention from the DP World Tour?
Yeah, go on.
Keita Nakajima had a really good finish. He finished tied 21st, which is great to see. And Yuto Katsuragawa, unfortunately, missed the cup.
Nakajima. He was the next one that they were saying, this is the next Matsuyama.
Yep.
And he did really well. He won the men's money list.
He did, yep. And he's
2
gone
years
off.
ago, 3 years ago. Then he's
gone off to Europe.
But he qualified. Didn't he qualify for the PGA Tour or not yet?
No, not yet. That's Kanaya. So he'll get there eventually. You know, he's definitely an up and coming player and sort of a world beater. He's won lots of tournaments here already, and there's big hopes for Keita. Does everything properly. Looks the part. Great golf swings. Practicing his English and all that sort of things. So
I've got a theory about why he didn't perform quite as well when they thought he would. Because do you remember they were all fighting over him to who's going to sponsor him?
That's right. They did too. Yeah.
So TaylorMade got him.
TaylorMade one, and
they gave him at that time the Stealth driver, and it just absolutely ruined his game.
Oh,
and
really?
He couldn't keep it on the planet.
Okay.
He was just, everything was going right. Everything was not going well for him. I remember when he debuted with the TaylorMade stuff, he didn't have the driver in the bag, and they were saying that they put out in Japan. They put out that he's so long off the tee that he didn't need driver.
Is that what
so he didn't play driver that first week, and then they basically had to kind of rebuild a golf club for him, which wasn't the standard Stealth to kind of sort him out. But it seems like now he's fine. But when he first switched over, he just couldn't get his head around it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to see. I'm glad he's having success on the European tour. So that's a good finish for the young man. Of course he should.
Yeah. Nice hat, by the way. Give us a look at the side.
Yeah. So I think it's got
nice.
GT. So it's just got a very small Titleist logo on the front there.
I like that. I like the small logo.
Yeah, it's not too overbearing because usually Titleist is really big across there. So
I'll get one of them.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Does it have on the other side? What's it have?
No, it's got nothing. It's only just got GT.
Love it.
Just GT on the side. So
I'd love it if they had a small little GT right at the back.
Yeah. That would be.
Titleist right in the front. That'd be nice. Okay.
Good hat.
Do we know when the GT driver's coming out, Ryan?
Yeah, I think it's like, not
the GT mini driver.
The mini driver.
The 280, GT 280. Not yet.
I think it might already be out.
No.
I think it's on tour at the moment. I think some of the players using it. I have a suspicion that Adam Scott might have been using it this week in Dubai.
Oh.
I think because he did a what's in the bag with somebody and he pulled out he said, I'm using this mini driver. But he didn't actually say the manufacturer's name, but it looked like a Titleist. So I could be wrong, but if it's out on tour,
he's a Titleist guy.
Ball shoe glove, but he's been using a multitude of different clubs. He's used some Strixon irons, some Miura irons.
Oh, he does use the Miura irons.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Miura,
yes.
Didn't we just take on a golf shop that does Miura fitting?
That's
which
right.
is quite exciting to our little.
That is exciting. Wow.
Yeah. Powell Golf Shop.
What did he say? He said, don't call it Miura, call it Miura Kaigen or something.
Miura Gaiken or Gaiken.
Miura Kigen.
Kigen is how you pronounce
So
it.
that's the real one, made in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because like I showed up and I had the logo of Miura that like, is for Miura America. And he was like kind of schooling me on that. He's like, yeah, well, that's fine. Of course, those are also good golf clubs, but they're not the ones that are made by the family.
In Hyogo.
There's a little red stamp they put on them.
Right.
I think
There's like a special
stamp.
mark. It's like an MG or something like that. And he said that's what he's like. People come here to get that mark.
Right.
So me and Ryan are going to pop over and we might put something up on YouTube or on social media or whatever.
Oh, you should, guys. That's big news.
I got the Mizuno fitting, which was amazing, but I heard that I really want to. I've never actually hit a Miura. Miura Keegan Bradley. Yeah. Miura Keegan.
How do you spell that?
Sorry, actually, it's Miura Giken. So
Giken.
Giken, and Giken would be like Miura Industries or something like that. That's kind of how it translates.
Okay,
cool.
So, and where's this golf shop?
It's over by like not far from Shibuya.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So like
it's nice to have
I want to say
city
Meguro.
center. I love Meguro. Meguro's. Sorry, I'll just go on about Meguro, but Meguro is a really happening young person's area now. And under the train tracks, they have all the izakayas and bars and coffee shops, and it's just all along relentlessly. And then at the very end is my favorite Mexican. So there you go. So we pop over. It's Golf Shop Pal.
Golf Shop Pal. You can find their shop page on golfinjapan.com under the shops tab. If you search for Tokyo or things like that, you'll be able to find it. And we'll have it sorted by brand soon as well too. So you can just click on Miura, see which golf shops you can get Miura fittings for, or Mizuno, and of course Titleist as well. Actually, this shop, he's also registered like for multiple brands, and he's had like Titleist America come through his shop and like check it out. And he's
I should say that he's an independent guy, so he does everything. But I think Titleist gave him the thumbs up, said great fitting experience there, and so did Miura Kiken.
Right.
So he's a guy that will independently fit you. So if you want to go in, you can try out all the irons, all the stuff, and he'll see which one's the best for you, see which one's good.
Yeah,
so
they're used to foreigners as well too. I mean, like they're very welcoming to it. They've got a lot of people coming in already for that sort of thing. So they're up for it. You were asking about the Titleist. You talked about the GT1. That's out in February 21st. Is the release date?
No, I knew that. Japan. Yes, we had a hit at it. We were talking about that last week, and the fairway woods. I think they've already. No, they haven't dropped it. They dropped in America, but not in Japan yet. We had a little sneaky preview of them.
Speaking of which, the PGA show, is that
that's happening right now.
Yeah. I think you've been chained to the press desk a bit.
That's right. Shout out to FlightScope. So we work with FlightScope as well. If you don't know what FlightScope is, it's one of the launch monitors.
It's a premium sort of launch monitor.
It's a premium launch monitor. Yeah. Joe's an ambassador for them as well.
Great brand.
I've been working them for a number of years, and they just launched the new rangefinder. And the cool thing about this, I think it's called the i4 rangefinder. Yeah. So they've got all sorts of tech on this thing. So basically what it does is, say if you're using their unit and you're practicing, and usually when people are practicing before a round, they're getting the yardages.
Yep.
What this thing will do is take that data that you've been practicing with, as well as live weather data. So air temperature, wind direction, everything. And then it all gets put into an AI. And then when you using the rangefinder and you're clicking towards it, it shows you which direction of the wind, how many meters per second, all that kind of thing. But then it recommends which club. Yeah. So it has an AI caddy.
Yeah.
So we'll say like an 8-iron. You might normally hit a 7, but the wind's behind you and it's saying hit an 8. And apparently so I just spoke to Jason, who's the country manager today, and he's at the PGA show. And today he said the weather's been rubbish over there, but they were testing it on the range outside. And he said that all the pros who came up and tried it loved it.
Yeah.
Like independent guys, really good players. Pros coming up. I mean, it's the professional show, so everyone's a good player, but he said it's been getting great feedback. So I believe that's going to be released in Japan. I think they just have to localize it, put it into Japanese. It'll be out here in March. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, there was a thing on YouTube that I looked at this morning, and you're right, the rain was bucketing down when they were doing the interview, but the guy that was talking about it was obviously one of their staff, and it was really compelling. It's definitely something I'm going to get my hands on. I've never owned anything like that before. rangefinder. So
You were saying the thing you were excited about with it is just the magnet. Like you were saying.
Well, the
that's a
magnet's
clever
on the
idea.
side is really great because you can stick it to the side of the buggy.
Yeah.
Or you can just, if in Japan, of course, you've always got 2 or 3 clubs in your hand. So you can actually, it will stick to your club as well. So you don't have to sort of carry it. So it's terrific. I think one of the other manufacturers, it might be Bushnell, who do the same thing. It's also got a rechargeable battery as well. So you just stick your cord in it and you can charge it rather than having
They all have that, mate.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
So that's how little I know about this sort of thing. So when they first came out, people were always having to change batteries, and I thought, what a pain in the backside that sort of thing is. So
yeah,
but it's got slope measurement, the up and down, and you can turn it off and on, and the magnet on the side. So it'll definitely be something I'll put in my bag.
I remember it's called environmental optimization. It's got the EO. That's what it does. So it takes all of the data or it doesn't even have to be your latest data. So it ties in with the app. So there's a FlightScope free app. So when you're practicing with it, even if you find one at a range, you can hook up to it.
Yeah.
Download the app, and it keeps all of your data, all your yardages, everything. And then that will, whatever your latest one, will just go into this. So you connect the rangefinder to the app.
That's right.
And it pulls the data from that. And then in real time, again from your phone and from the app, it will get the real time weather data for where you are, your location. And it puts all that together with the AI, and it gives you the AI caddy for the distance and stuff. I think that's a bit of a game changer.
Oh, I do too. I think they call it, it's the FlightScope distance is what they call it when it does all the calculations of your distance and wind. I think that's an amazing piece of tech. None of the other manufacturers do that.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to get my hands on one.
Oh, me too.
Next month I'm going to get my hands on one.
Yeah.
So we'll have a go with it.
We'll have to do a trial.
Oh man, can't wait.
Sounds like the weather at the BGA show would actually be to its benefit then, because it's like, if you go up there, it's like, wow, this is actually working in these conditions.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It was.
No, apparently they've been killing it at the show. So shout out to all the FlightScope crew working hard over there. They're selling a lot of monitors and a lot of these. And I don't even think they've started production, or they've started production, but they haven't started selling it yet. It's just been released today.
So I think it was I think it's been mentioned it's $499 US, which is about is that right? I think that's about what a premium rangefinder is. I think there's more expensive ones than that, but
I think so. I don't think it would be. So a good thing about FlightScope is if you look at all of the rangefinders, they're all good, right? They all do their own thing, but by far FlightScope is the cheapest one.
Yeah, it is.
It's not the cheapest
for the
one,
launch monitors.
But to actually have a radar and a camera doing the fusion, it's the cheapest one, because the only other one that does that is TrackMan and Full Swing.
Yeah,
they're like 2, 3, 4, 5 times more expensive.
Yeah, they are.
So, and Henry, I've actually met him a few times. Henry, the founder, he was the guy. He was in the 70s doing testing of ballistic missiles in South Africa.
That's where the tech has come
technology.
from.
This is all his. So, and then he said, "Oh, I wonder if this would track a golf ball." Set it up, fixed it up. He's a genius guy. He's very smart. So trust him to come up with all of this stuff. And I think they're innovational, but they also make it affordable. And that's kind of what he wants to do. He wants to make it affordable for the average guys like us to just get into technology and get ourselves better. So fair play to him.
Oh, what a great piece of kit. And especially I think for beginners as well. One of the difficult things when you first start is trying to understand what club you hit in what sort of situation. But if 100%. You can just zap that on the target, on the flag, and it brings up the reading, including, it helps you with the wind as well.
With air temperature. Did you ever notice that? Like sometimes, I always find in the autumn in Japan, ball goes a lot further for me.
Yeah.
20 yards further.
I think so too. Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh, that's that, because it's not, it's the same crappy swing really. But it must be air pressure, all that kind of stuff.
No doubt.
So to actually know that for sure,
yeah.
So I think every round you're always, the first few holes, you're like, oh, that didn't get there.
Sure.
That went too far. Wow, that's weird.
Yep.
So this would just take a lot of that out of it. I think it's cool.
What a product.
Yeah. All right. I guess we're kind of steaming along here, but Joe, you were saying you didn't go to that little Oshima Island.
No, unfortunately, I'll go on Monday, so I'll give a full report in the next podcast about it. We couldn't come back in time. It was rough weather, so we couldn't get the propeller boat, they said. So it was going to be the slow boat.
What's a propeller boat?
So apparently they've got 2 boats that go over to Oshima. One's the propeller boat, which goes quickly, and one's the regular one.
So like it has a propeller on it, and it kind of skims the surface.
Yeah, imagining like a ski-doo.
Or like the hydrofoil thing that pops up out of the water. Maybe?
I didn't even see the boat. So I went over got to the terminal early in the morning, and they gave us this information, and you were either going to come back at 4 p.m., which I needed to be back for, or 7 p.m. if you come back on the slow boat. So we decided to put it off, but I will go over on Monday for a hit.
Brilliant.
So I'm looking forward to
Okay,
it.
well, yeah, let us know how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
next
none
time,
of us-
take the
I've
slow
never
boat.
been there.
Take a slow boat and throw out a fishing line over the side as you're there on there for 3 hours. Yeah.
We talked about it last week, but technically this is part of Tokyo. How long does the boat take, the fast boat?
I think it's just under 2 hours to get there.
Wow, that'd
Yeah.
be just such a little golf adventure. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, so they're going to build accommodation and all that sort of thing, and a brewery over there. So they're really going to spend some money over there, and hopefully
that's
golfers will
exciting.
go over there and stay there.
Dude,
and
I am
redo the
so
course.
into doing that.
Yeah,
Even on a day trip.
yeah, day trip. Yep.
Why not?
Yeah, the ferry leaves at I think it's just after 8 o'clock in the morning, and I think you can get the golf course is quite close, and then you can get so you're back by 4. So I think you leave it sort of just after 2.
And I mean, people talking about Mount Fuji and stuff. This whole island is a volcano.
It's a volcano. Yeah,
It's an active volcano.
After you guys said that, I had a look at it on Google Maps, and it's a volcano.
It's an active volcano.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it kind of erupted back when I first came to Japan, early 2000s.
Okay.
And they had to evacuate the island. There was like gas leaking out of it, but it never properly, like, you know, the way just plumes of smoke and stuff was coming out of it. And they were like, we'd better, so they pulled everyone off the island. Then 2 weeks later, go back.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'd be cool.
So yeah,
Just passing gas. You know.
that's right.
Hey.
Any golf happening? I see you're going to Oshima. We were going to play golf, but we couldn't because the podcast happened today. But I'm actually playing on Friday. I'm going to was it Fuji Zakura with
Ooh.
playing companions.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I got my
that's
snow
good.
tires on.
Bring some hand
Oh, okay.
warmers.
Yeah.
I'll bring some. I did actually. You know what I bought in the convenience? I bought the heat up things.
Oh, the heat pads.
Yeah.
the heat pads.
Yeah, they're great.
Hokkaido.
They're a
Yeah.
must.
So I brought them for the. I thought that'd be a nice touch to give it.
Oh, that is. Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
My
Pop a
wife,
couple of those in your
just
pocket.
like she's loaded up like all up and down her back.
You
and
stick
stuff
'em
like
on,
that.
yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are great.
Yeah,
That they're really good. If you got a sore back, they're great.
they are
actually.
too.
Yeah, just put
Yeah.
it in heat.
Yeah.
Okie dokes. We'll. I think Damon will be coming back tomorrow, and
Back
then
from Bali.
We'll be getting back to our regular kind of time slot next week. But thanks very much, lads. Anything you want to finish with? Any last slags for Damo?
No, no. We sort of go a little bit back and forth with the whole live thing, but I've got nothing but love for Damon. We give each other stick. He's a funny man.
You're too nice, mate.
Yeah,
life
like,
preserver.
you know, you giving these six. It's all like love letters you guys are sharing.
Actually, when I was doing my hair today, I was going to put a spike in the hair. Because he kind of owns the spiky hair thing.
He does.
And when I was younger, I used to kind of sometimes. I have a calf
What do
slick.
you call that? Like it was Beckham did that for a while. That's like the fake
mohawk?
faux hawk.
The faux
They
hawk.
called it. Yeah.
I was gonna do it today because I was like, well, you know, Damon's not here. Maybe I could rock a little spike in the middle
Well,
of my
I
head.
can't do that sort of thing, so I'm very envious of all of you guys being able to do the.
You got a
that
nice
type of thing. So I
Titleist hat,
can't. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it
You
just
do.
covers up my bald head. So
All right, well, leaving it at that. So, Damon, get back. We'll look forward to seeing you next
Absolutely.
week with your spike. Cheers, boys.
see you guys. Thank you.